What's good, y'all? It's Trey, and this is a Comp Initiative Way Too Early review. Snow on the Bluff is J. Cole's latest single. It came out Tuesday, June 16th, as in yesterday. I wanted to get in on this conversation that was coming on about this song, and also give you some of my thoughts and opinions about it in general. Firstly, I love the production. It's very chill. It's very J. Cole-esque. I think they did a great job with that. I just wanted to plug the production team for this. Very simple, very kind of delicate song, but it kind of puts you in the frame of mind of he's going to be spitting something on this record. It's going to be relatively deep or something that we're going to have to unpack as an audience. Now, lyrically, J. Cole doesn't disappoint. He's Cole. He's a GOAT. Like 2.5 minutes straight about what he feels like he's not doing, what other people may be doing. We'll get into that later. And kind of putting in context this whole era and what's going on in his head over the last, 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, or his whole life, and life of a black person in America. I've already listened to this song maybe 5-6 times because I'm really trying to unpack everything that he's trying to say. I've also read the lyrics a couple times. Yeah, I read the lyrics. But this is one of those where you want to read the lyrics. Now, I've been on Twitter. I've read stuff about how he's coming at No Name, who's also a great artist in her own right, a great rapper from Chicago. She's also doing a ton for her community with the book club, and there's no doubt that she is doing her part in this. And I went through and I liked a lot of her posts. I agree with everything that she was saying. But I think personally, this is the crux of the matter for me. I think they're both right. Now, it may be weird for me to say that they're both right because in music, the way that everything has been set up, or everything in our society has been set up, is that you got to pick one side or the other, and there ain't no in between. Now, with things like racism and poverty and healthcare and stuff like that, it's hard to not be binary about a lot of those things. But when it comes to words and the subjectiveness of music, you can have an opinion where this is right and this is right. And I think this is what happened here. I think No Name has every right to be as angry as she is, and as angry as she was in her rant. Angry about celebrities and how little they seem to be doing. Angry about the way that our systems are set up, and that as a black woman in her own right, or as speaking for myself as a black man, it's frustrating going through and living on a day-to-day where that this is your reality, and there's still nothing you can do really about it. That's frustrating, and she has every right to vent that frustration however the hell she wants to. Let's not get that misconstrued. I think that Cole has a point about effectiveness of message. I worked with kids when I was in college. It wasn't a long time ago, but when I was in college, I worked at an elementary school in our community, in the community that I went to school in. There's a certain way you have to talk to children. Just speaking to that line about what he said about children, I'll put it here below so you can read it. But just speaking to that line about children, there is a thing about patience and growth and all those things that are completely right. And I don't think that anywhere in his message was he trying to say that it's black women's responsibility. It's not black women's responsibility to educate everybody. It's not their responsibility to educate black men. It's not my role as a black man's responsibility to educate anybody. Like, that should be something that people should inherently want to do for themselves. But to Cole's point, some people are just not on the level that you're at. There's some people that, yeah, you can show them what to read. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink, you know? And I know that a lot of this is like, it has to be like a self-inflicted thing, but in order to bring people into your fold and bring people into your circle, it's about communicating it effectively, you know, being patient with those people and giving them the opportunity to grasp it and letting that plant grow at its own pace, and having the patience to have that, let that grow. Doesn't mean your frustration is wrong. That doesn't mean that you don't have the right to be frustrated. That means that for the work, especially in social justice for Black people, as we move from 2020 onward and hopefully upward, it's going to be important to have that patience, and it's not going to happen right away. Because if it happened right away, something would have happened in 1964. Something would happen in 1865 if it was right away. And I think that that's what Cole's point was. I didn't see it as any disrespect, but I see how people can have interpreted it where it feels like disrespect, especially towards Black women. And then the timing of it with Oluwatoyin passing away and being killed, and it's a rough time, and it was weird timing to have something like this come out, even if the message is right. So that's what I'll be in the middle right there. But no, I respect both of these artists, and I respect that they'll stand by their words regardless of what they do. I think Dave Chappelle put it perfectly. It's like, it's not the celebrity's job. I know that people trust them. They trust their art. They trust what they do, and they trust that they've put themselves out to the world. But it's not their responsibility to say something at every turn, in every moment or something happens. Actions, in every sense, to me, speak louder than words. People will say whatever they want to get ahead, but what they do is what matters. And I'm both of these people, No Name and J. Cole. Though Cole may feel like he's not doing enough, how can we gauge that? Both of them are doing plenty. They're using their platform for what they feel is right. You know, some of that is through expression, some of that is through a book club, some of that is through marching on the street, and that's okay. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion as long as they personally feel like they're putting in and driving this energy to the positive, and they're trying in their own way to make these things better. And we have to respect that. Now, if they don't do anything, that's a different conversation. But both of these people are doing plenty. Not even just No Name for Black women and women in general, but Cole for Black men and Black people in general. They are pushing the narrative in their own ways, and it sucks that situations like this pit them against each other, when it doesn't really need to even be like that. It doesn't. And for all the first listeners who just kind of want to hear people talk about this, this is what the Comp Initiative is about, right? And it's not, and it's acknowledging that we're in a rough time. It's acknowledging that there are social and systemic and problems. There are social problems and political problems that are happening in our world that we're all witnessing, and where there's videos of people being killed and all those things like that. But we have to control what we can control, right? And we have to shift the narrative and switch the conversation into something like what we want to see happen. We have to be the standard bearers. We have to be the change that we want to see. And it starts with in this format with the comp reviews and stuff like that as you explore our channel. It starts with the way we view the opinions of others and the way that we pit ourselves against each other, especially in music, because inadvertently, by mistake, damn near, it sparked outrage between black men like me and black women who more than ever need to really come together as a collective and have a conversation about what's happening. Not only is that important, but it's necessary. Hopefully through music and through me, myself, and other things that we do on this channel going forward, the idea that we can have these discussions, have these conversations, but we don't have to pit ourselves against each other. We don't have to make these things personal. We don't have to say, hey, look, I don't agree with what you're saying, so I hate you. So we don't have to say, I don't agree with what you're saying, so I'm pissed off and I'm angry and I'm gonna manifest that energy and rant on you and to you and beat you down verbally over the internet. We don't have to say that. We can say, I see your point. This is what I think. How can we meet in the middle? How can both of our opinions be valid? And now there are some instances where they won't be, where one opinion is clearly right and one isn't wrong. But we have to find the middle. We have to find the compromise. We have to. Normally, in a way too early review, we have this thing where we wait 2 hours and we listen to our album once and we have our entire opinion of it throughout the entirety of time. And I don't agree with that at all. The way too early review is just to start the conversation about this art. The comp album review, like as you see coming out every Friday, is about the actual opinion over time. We cannot keep giving art 24 hours or one listen in order to formulate an opinion. We have to give it more time. This is to start the conversation. The album reviews that you gotta come back for is for the actual opinion. Honestly, I'm gonna keep listening to this song. I'm gonna keep listening to No Name's music. It doesn't affect my opinion of either one of them. I'm gonna support them however I can, which is streaming their stuff. But it's important that this conversation is being had. We just have to keep in mind that as much as we love to bang back and forth and argue with people and assert our points or whatever, we have to change that. We have to find a way to meet in the middle, because there are gonna be people on different spectrums. We have to find the middle, and hopefully through what I said on this video is some semblance of the middle, or at least this comment section on Twitter or Instagram or in YouTube where you're watching this is that platform where you can express exactly how you feel about this and not have somebody say, you suck because you think this, and I don't see how you can even say that. It doesn't make any sense. You're a terrible person. We gotta bridge the gap, man. We got to. Now, if you're new to this channel, this is the Comp Initiative channel. I kind of explained what we're about earlier on in the video, so I won't reiterate that. But through our podcast, through our social media content, we're just trying to shift a lot of these things to the positive, right? So please, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications if you want, and follow us at Comp Initiative on all of our platforms, so we know it's real. And that's all I have, so see ya.